You may have thought that secluded beaches with fine sand, crystal clear water and just the cry of the gulls for company were long gone. But they're not. Tucked away in the nooks and crannies of the Wales coast are any number of unspoiled hidden gems where you can enjoy a little peace and quiet. Here at UK Hidden Gems, we have compiled a list of your favorite hidden beaches in Wales that are just far enough off the beaten track to never get too busy. Of course, escaping the crowds may not be your only reason for visiting these little-known spots. Not only are they a little tricky to find and get to, they are also some of the loveliest beaches in Wales. Number 1. Maros Sand Beach. This long stretch of beach is somewhat off the beaten track and largely untouched. Whilst it isn't quite bucket and spade fair, Maros Sands are a great place to enjoy some solitude and take a bracing walk. The beach sits around Telpin Point from Amroth Beach to the west and is a fair hike from any direction. Probably the nearest road accesses from Maros village around a mile's walk away, although this is all uphill on the way back. As the name suggests, Maros Sands does comprise a wide stretch of sandy beach. However, this is at low tide. When the tide comes in, not much more than a bank of pebbles is left. Those exploring the beach will not be disappointed. Besides the caves towards the western end of the beach are the remains of a shipwreck and a petrified forest. The shipwreck is that of the Rover, a 71-foot schooner which ran aground during a force 11 gale back in 1886. The ancient forest dates back around 5,000 years and can be seen at low tides, in the right conditions. Sometimes more exposed than others. The best photos of the tree stumps date back to 1976 when the mud and sand was particularly low. Maros Sands is also frequented by naturists who appreciate its remoteness and seclusion. Number 2. Wick Sand Beach. Located close to Marloes village on the southern edge of St. Bride's Bay is the lovely sandy beach of Wick. Backed by the high cliffs of Wheeltack Point and up ahead, the north-facing beach here is relatively sheltered from the prevailing winds. Access to Wick Sands requires a 10-minute walk across fields and a rather steep descent via steps cut into the cliffside. Along with the fact that the beach is really only here between mid and low tide, there are rarely ever more than a few people here at any time. It is worth noting that there is only one way on and off the beach, so check the tides before straying too far along the beach. Number 3. Belle Slaughter Bay. Despite the rather macabre sounding name, Belle Slaughter Bay is actually a very pleasant little beach. Set in a cove of high limestone cliffs, punctuated by caves and arches, this is a great spot for explorers of all ages. The inviting clear water here is perfect for a paddle, and swimming is generally safe, although there probably won't be anyone here to save you if you do get into trouble. As with many of these secret coves along the Pembrokeshire coast, you will want to visit when the tide is low. Otherwise, the beach is very much diminished, with just a pebble section remaining above the high tide mark. Before you go off to check the tides and plan your visit, you'll need to check one more thing. Access to the beach is across the Castle Martin Mod Range, so if you would like to avoid being disappointed or blown up, it is worth checking when exercises are taking place. Number 4. Church Door Cove. Like neighbouring beaches along this stretch of the Pembrokeshire coast, Church Doors Cove is something of a geological wonder, and it is to this that the beach's name refers. The cove has sheer stratified sandstone cliffs to the rear and both sides. However, it is the huge, high-arched door cut into the headland by the sea that identifies this beach. Access to Church Doors Cove is via the Pembrokeshire coast path and then a long, steep set of concrete steps followed by a metal stairway which leads down to the beach. Alternatively, on very low tides you can just about walk around the narrow headland that separates Church Doors from its neighbour, Sprinkle Haven, or scrabble through the cave that joins them. When the tide is in, there isn't much of a beach here, and a large part of what is left is rocky. But as the tide drops away, a beautiful, sheltered stretch of golden sand is exposed. Therefore, it is well worth checking the tide times before you visit. Number 5. Mowingwood Bay. About half a mile to the south of Berryfundle Bay, on the far side of Stagpole Head, is Mowingwood Bay. and relatively unheard of compared to its much vaunted neighbour. The beach here rivals any in Wales. As well as a good stretch of golden sand, at low tide, Mowingwood is home to a variety of fantastical rock formations. There are cathedral-sized walk-through caves, a huge blowhole, plenty of rock pools and the iconic pinnacle stack in the center of the beach. Stunning as the beach at Mowingwood might be, you will often find it empty, and there is a reason for this. It is somewhat challenging to get to without a boat. It is possible to swim and scramble round from neighbouring Box Bay, but this is only recommended for competent swimmers. To discover more hidden gems in Wales, as well as other parts of the UK, be sure to subscribe to the channel and put notifications on to ensure you never miss a video.